Saturday evening, Mayo against Kerry in McHale Park in Castlebar. I mean, the rivalry between these two counties. Mayo have had quite an interesting start to life under Kevin McStay. 2 draws to Galway and then to Armagh. Kerry obviously coming to this game fresh off the back of a very impressive victory over Monaghan. But before that, they had lost to Donegal. How are you seeing these two sides coming into this? Obviously, Kerry, a lot of names missing in those 2 games. How are you seeing them, man?
Yeah, well, I've seen a few whispers around Twitter that Sean O'Shea and David Clifford will be making a return to the panel. So you wouldn't really still expect them to start, but that they would be going to Castlebar. You kind of expect Paddy Clifford to be starting, who done well when he came on there against Monaghan. I am really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be really high intensity. You said McStay there. Mayo got their draws. They got last kick of the game to draw against Galway, and then Armagh to get a last kick of the game to draw as well. I can't really see, or kind of, it's hard to see who's going to win this. I think like Kerry haven't had a good start, but I think this is more than the league. This game is to do more with the league. This is to do with if Jack O'Connor thinks that Mayo are a legitimate contenders of the All Ireland come whenever, June, July, that this will be something that you can look back on, and this is something that you can kind of put your foot down and say, look, lads, we bet these in McHale Park. I think it's going to be really good atmosphere. I think a lot of people are going to go see it, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the atmosphere for the game against Galway would look class. This one as well. I mean, Mayo people just have just as much rivalry, I would say, towards Kerry, considering, the matches between them in the All-Ireland finals, the All-Ireland semi-finals down through the years. There's been a feature now with Mayo in their last few games, I'd have to say, is that obviously they're sticking with Conor Loftus at centre-half back, which I am finding interesting. Personally, right now, I don't think they should stick with that for the championship. I feel like they need to put Stephen Cohen there, especially with Oisin Mullen being gone. But they're going to keep doing that with him, I imagine, in this game. Aidan O'Shea as well, his performances coming off the bench, he's been really, really good. Cillian O'Connor as well, he's made an impact when he's come on both games. Do you feel like O'Connor and O'Shea should maybe start this game if Mayo are looking for a victory, or should McStay keep going with the team that he's kind of gone with so far?
I think O'Shea should be anyway. I think McStay has come out and said, this is before he said was the Mayo manager. He said that he feels that Aidan O'Shea was wasted nearly in the middle of the field, that he should be a full forward. And I feel that
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think he's getting a small bit older now, and I think that you need to also think that, or bring that into consideration. I feel that if he's in full forward, I think if you're any of the fullbacks, doesn't matter if you're the fullback, you're the best fullback in the country, you're going to have to think about it. You're not going to be, this is going to be a walk in the park. He's a big target man. I know you should be expecting him to get a few scores. I think that when he was, say, midfield or centre forward or full forward, he was constantly being changed back and forth. I think McStay needs to stick him in one position, keep him in that position, and then he'll know and he'll feel a bit better, and might even try and practice kicking these scores over the bar, but hit the ball into him. You have Cillian O'Connor if he comes on, or Ryan O'Donoghue, you give the ball back off to them, and those boys can stick it over the bar as well. So I think there's something you can obviously still bring him out to the midfield the odd time, but I see more as a full forward man, and to switch it up sometimes, bring him out to midfield, try and get on the ball a bit more, depending on how the game goes. So yeah, I would like to see him. I think if you see him full forward on the program, say come Saturday, I think a lot of people will be looking at it and be kind of smiling, thinking like, oh, this could get a bit interesting.
Yeah, without doubt, especially if Jason Foley's marking him. I mean, a guy who did an amazing job on Damien Comer last year and just was an outstanding fullback throughout the entire championship. I feel like, look, if they're going to put him in there and they're going to put him a full forward and they're going to back that, please, for the love of God, kick some good ball into him, because the way that he was threat at full forward under Stephen Rochford, under James Horan, the game that stands out to me in particular is against Dublin in 2015, where they put him full forward. He had at least 2 men marking him at all times, and they were firing the worst ball up to him. Ball was coming down with snow on it because they kicked it so high. It was just the most aimless, well, he's 6'5", so he should catch that anyway type of ball. No, you need to use it wisely. the type of ball that Dublin kick into Conor O'Callaghan, the type of ball that Kerry kick into David Clifford, ball that is made for the forward to win it. Not one that he has to, the ball that is made for the forward just to catch it, not even necessarily one that he has to go and win it. But yeah, I would back him to be definitely a brilliant target man if they play that way. For Kerry on the flip side, Dave obviously found, new stars there, as if they didn't need any new forwards. But the likes of Dara Roach and Donald O'Sullivan have looked fantastic. Are you expecting big things from them again in this game?
It's hard to know. It's hard to know who's going to be playing. So say you have half time or something, or say if you do, if from what we're hearing is that Sean O'Shea and David Clifford are coming, that it's hard to be the star man when there's so many kind of world beaters in the team. I think I really like to look at Dara Roach, especially against Donegal. I know it was a loss, but he's a strong lad. I was constantly saying it to lads I was watching. I was like, this lad looks like an absolute unit. And then Donald Sullivan getting 1-3 against Monaghan was looking also very impressive. So there's probably a lot of these lads would be looking to get these spots. There wouldn't be that many spots going in a Kerry team, so this is their chance to stand out. So they may or may not be able to get their spot come championship, but they're definitely going to try, because everyone who is from Kerry who plays football wants to be in that starting 15 come All-Ireland semi-final day, All-Ireland final day. Oh,
100%. I mean, in my opinion, there's two spots that will open up in the Kerry forward line over the next 2 years. I think Stephen O'Brien and Paul Gainey, I feel like their kind of time with Kerry is starting to, reach its twilight, in my opinion. And I feel like, look, Dara Roach, Donald O'Sullivan are two in particular that are really impressing me and looking like definite tips for the future. So then decision time. Obviously, Mayo have had back-to-back draws, Kerry a loss and then a victory. Which one would you be kind of looking at a little bit more going into this game as the winners?
Originally on my notes, I had Mayo to win it. I think it being in McHale Park, and depending on what the weather is going to be like, I think if it's lashing rain, I don't know if that will suit Mayo more or not. But the more I kind of have discussed it, I'm going to go. Well, no, actually, I'll stick with Mayo. I was going to say a draw, but I think Mayo, they have this certain bit of madness when they play football, and it sometimes can work against them, it sometimes can work for them. And depending on what team Kerry plays, I think if they're not the experienced lads or not the lads that are used to this intensity, I think Mayo will be able to capitalise on that. So maybe it's because I want Mayo to win more, but I also give them a good chance, even though they're not the favourites. But if I had a tenner to put a bet on, I'd probably back it on Mayo.
Yeah, well, one of us is going to be wrong then. I'm going Kerry.
I just feel a draw, and we're both wrong.
A draw, yeah, we're both wrong. I'm just going to go Kerry. I feel like the momentum that they're going to carry in from the Monaghan games, there's a feel-good factor around them now. Like Paddy Clifford's goal in that game was beautiful. Yeah. We'll completely bypass the fact that there wasn't a single hand laid on him in the entire run. But, I mean, in terms of a victory, Kerry have got one. Mayo battled, against Armagh and Galway. You could argue better teams than Kerry have faced in Donegal and Monaghan so far. So, yeah, there is obviously a route there to victory for Mayo, but I'm going to just go with Kerry narrowly in this one by a point or two.